Like, I don't even remember how we used to start these things. It's been such a long time. But let's just get this going. Hello, everyone, and
Sure.
welcome back to Two Goddamn Jackasses Discuss Stuff podcast. Other jackass, introduce yourself.
My name is Cameron. That was my introduction.
It's a good
We're going to
introduction.
talk about the Xbox One, PS4,
Hold
and
on,
the
man.
Nintendo copyright issue.
Dude, can I like stop for a sec? Cause like that introduction moved me very deeply. I have to admit.
Good.
That was like
That was
one of
my
my
intention.
all-time favorite introductions from anyone.
It did its job, right? That's all an introduction needs to do.
I feel like really warm inside, you know. Right. Well,
Good.
let's move on. As you said, we were discussing the Xbox One, the PS4, and since Nintendo's not doing anything important right now, the copyright issues that they're having with YouTube, which I have a little bit more to discuss than you do, I think. So let's start with the Xbox One, shall we? Shall we?
Yes, we shall. It
The-
seems like the best thing to talk about.
I feel we should have a disclaimer here, though, that no matter what we say about the Xbox One or PS4, we don't hate Sony and Microsoft as companies.
Well, I kind of hate Microsoft, just for some of the stuff they're doing recently. But
That
That's-
is the Smiley Man guy on YouTube.
it doesn't affect how I feel about the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4.
All right. Well, my first thought with the Xbox One is that it looks like an old modem. Like, I don't know what they're doing with the whole design. It looks like they took a few steps back in terms of design. I know it's a kind of bitchy complaint, but it doesn't look right.
I feel like it looks more like a cable box or something. Like it looks like they've tried to make it look really futuristic and really sleek and really like powerful, but it just looks kind of boring. I think. I don't think it looks bad. It just looks really dull. It's just
It looks
a black
old
and
to
gray
me.
square. You really think it looks that old?
Squares
It's,
are
like,
old.
really
Everyone
shiny.
everyone knows that in the future you have more slick edges on your shapes.
Squares have a lot of edges, you know. More
Slick
than, like,
edges,
circles.
though, not sharp edges. They need
Oh,
to be
yeah.
like, you know those squares that have slightly spherical, like you see the logo for Steam. It's like a square, but it has like slick edges, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Like that.
Imagine-
That's futuristic because of the slick edges.
Can you imagine if the Xbox One just looked like a PlayStation 3, but with an Xbox logo?
I don't see why they would do that though.
Get some customers, you know.
Right, because the PlayStation 3
Maximize
sold
sales.
so well that the
Yeah,
Xbox
but-
One would just take its design.
Well, certain people might just mistake it for PlayStation 3 at a glance and accidentally buy an Xbox One instead.
Why- Okay, so the new generation comes out, and people are going to be looking for PlayStation 3s instead of the Xbox One.
Some people, old people, collectors.
What the fuck is... Okay.
Maybe someone's PS3 breaks, you know, and they want to buy another PlayStation 3 instead. They accidentally buy an Xbox One, and then they're like, "Oh, this is even better. I'm just going to keep this."
Okay. Alright, so...
I see their logic there.
Right. You see the logic in it not looking the way that you're suggesting that it should look.
Yeah, if you say so.
Okay. There you go. Well,
Thanks.
looks aside, there are some other problems with the Xbox One that I feel like we kind of need to address, like the fee to install a pre-owned game. Xbox 360 controllers are incompatible with it. You have to always be online. You need Connect. Just tons of little additional things like that that are eventually going to wind up jacking up the overall price of the console quite a bit. Because I remember my Xbox, even though it was only, I think, $400 when I bought it, I did have to buy an additional $100 wireless adapter. Then I had to pay at least $200 for memberships over the years that I had it. So it wound up costing a hell of a lot more than the PS3 did at the time. And I think they're going to do the same thing here. They're going to just like keep bleeding additional money out of anyone who buys their platform with little peripherals and stuff like that.
Well, I feel like it's worth noting that the whole paying for used games things, that's just a rumor, and they're still trying to work out how the whole DRM system is going to work, or the whole, you know, dealing with pre-owned games thing is going to work. The whole thing about, like, did they say that specifically the controllers wouldn't work with the Xbox One, or just games?
No, they said the a 360 controller would be incompatible with Xbox One.
Yeah. Well, I would think that they would give you a controller with the Xbox One
Yeah, but then
when you
like
buy it.
yeah, but then what are you going to do when you want to play your console with a friend, you know?
Yeah, I
Isn't
guess
that kind
that's
of the
true.
point of consoles? The fact that you can just have a friend over and both play on it.
Yeah,
It's like its
I
big
actually
selling
have to
point.
kind of have to agree with the whole buying loads of peripherals. With the Xbox 360, I probably spent more money on the extra stuff when it broke down than the console itself, just over the years. So I bought so
Exactly.
many like controllers and stuff like that.
That's the way they're gonna do it. I mean, that's how they get away with making it $200 cheaper than the PS3 was. They just had a whole bunch of extra stuff that they sold separately. Because the PS3 had built-in Wi-Fi. You know, you could just find it. You didn't have to buy a separate adapter for $100. That alone evens out the price between the two.
Yeah, I guess.
Always kind of bothered me. But
Do you want to know something I found kind of interesting when I watched the press conference?
yeah, what?
You know how when PS4 was announced, they didn't show the console. They still haven't showed it. They're going to show it at E3, I think.
Yeah.
I noticed with the Xbox, as soon as they announced it, the first thing they did is show you the console. I thought that was kind of like they were definitely paying attention to people's reactions with the PS4.
Yeah. Right. Onto the tech on the inside though. There is some interesting news on the inside. I mean, they've given out more about the inside stuff. It seems like Microsoft's been a lot more forward with their Xbox One than Sony has with the PS4.
Yeah, with the hardware anyway.
Yeah. Microsoft and AMD partnered to make a custom 40 nanometer chip with an 8-core CPU and GPU. Now, for those of you that aren't really too familiar with graphics cards and processors, AMD has a habit of making weaker parts compared to Intel and Nvidia. I say that from experience because I do have an AMD graphics card. It's just usually not as good as the Nvidia parts, and then of course Intel is usually miles ahead of AMD. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be good, but I found that on several occasions when looking for laptops, I was looking for laptops recently, I found that there were quad-core AMD processors that performed worse than dual-core Intel processors. So 8-core sounds good, but it might not actually be good. And the clock speed matters a hell of a lot more. And more cores would better suit multitasking. But why would you need to multitask on a console? You're playing video games, and that's where the next
That's
feature comes in. This system isn't just a game console, however. The one has a good reason to look like a set-top box. It doubles as one. It features an HDMI pass-through, so the console can sit between your cable or satellite operator's set-top box and your TV. You can tune channels with your voice, use a TV guide directly from your Xbox, and multitask between gaming, TV, Skype, Internet Explorer, and more. Or you use a computer, you know.
Yeah, but you can't speak to a computer and make it. Well, actually, yeah, you can. But a computer is not the ultimate living room experience. A computer is the ultimate bedroom experience, and they're trying to focus on the living.
no, computer's not the ultimate bedroom experience. There's something else before that.
What?
What do you think?
I have no idea. Why don't you tell me?
Pouring warm cheese onto your chest and licking it off.
Oh, I've never tried that.
You should. You're missing out on a lot.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna give that a try. That sounds really fun to do. Anyway. Sorry, that was a bad pun on my part. Anyway. That's the thing that pissed me off with the press conference is the spokespeople kept talking about the Xbox as like a living room experience. Like they kept talking about now you're going to be able to do this from your living room. I don't know if things are different in America, but in England, most people have like their Xboxes in their bedroom, and it's usually a small bedroom.
It's only
not like
time
a
I've
big
seen
living space.
Actually, I can't even think of a time where I've seen a gaming console in the living room in a friend's house. Like even the one, like I had a friend that had, I think it was 5 siblings, 3 sisters, 2 brothers, and even he had his console in a separate game room, not the living room. Like I've never seen that.
Yeah. And my younger brother, got the Kinect for Christmas a year or two ago, and we managed to get it work in the front room, but we had to literally move we had to move the sofa off to the side. We had to, clear out loads of space, and then we had to stand like towards the back of the living room. And I have a big living room, so it was really, really impractical and really like we ended up just not using it. It just gathers dust pretty much.
And I mean, they're trying to integrate features like this, but one thing you always remember is that consoles never integrate features like this well. I mean,
Exactly.
Remember the PS3's web browser? It was functional, but it wasn't exactly like you could hardly do shit with it. It was good for going to a website. Like a fucking mobile phone had better fucking internet browser than the PS3 did.
It worked for porn though.
Somewhat, yeah.
The only problem is I don't think you could erase your history. So every
Oh no, you had to do it
filthy
manually. I think
thing-
you had to hit the select button, go over to like hit the history tab, and then delete each thing individually.
Well, I'm glad you spent the time to
I have a
figure
lot
that
of
out.
experience with that, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So what do
TV
you feel-
sucks. Like, that's why I play video games in the first place. Why would I want to watch TV on my console?
I guess Microsoft isn't targeting you when they make this console.
Guess not. It makes me wonder who they are targeting, though, because they don't seem to be aiming toward gamers very much with the whole focus on Skype, Internet Explorer, and more.
They're focusing on people like tech nerds or like people in general, like families. They want to, like I said, introduce the Xbox into the living room and make it like a all-in-one home entertainment system that you can control with your voice. And,
Does lots of things and none of them well, apparently.
well, from like so far, we'll see like just how true that is when it comes out.
And as for the rest of the tech, there's an 8 GB RAM, which is good. Should be good enough for most of the stuff that it's going to do, but I think that might be a little lacking near the end of the generation, as always.
One thing I feel like saying though is I think 3 gigabytes of RAM are being reserved for the iOS. So
Right, of course. The fucking iOS, like Windows 8, I think half the fucking RAM on any laptop with Windows 8 on it is going straight toward that. It's like the most flashy, unnecessary operating system out there.
exactly, I got Windows 8 with this computer and I ended up uninstalling it because it's so awkward to use. Like I can understand how it would be good on an Xbox One when you can just use your arms, but a mouse and keyboard, no, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And it's one of those like that you have to take time to learn because it's very different from Windows 7.
It takes up too many resources. That's the biggest problem. Like
Mhm.
a console shouldn't even have, like, remember the operating system, if you can even call it that, on the PS2? It was like a floating fucking screen. And then the
Shit, that
operating
was
system
it.
on the GameCube, there wasn't even one. You just turned it on and went straight into a game. There wasn't even anything else. You don't
That's
put a
how
game
it
in there, it
was
goes
with
into a
PS1 as well.
menu.
With the PS1, you literally just put the game in, you listen to some incredible orgasmic, like, I don't know what you would call it, like a jingle.
Smooth
And then it
jazz.
just went- No, it wasn't even like that. It was just an amazing sound, and then it went straight into the game.
Yeah.
And like even the original Xbox didn't have that much of an operating system. It was just like a couple of settings and Xbox Live stuff, and then that was it.
Now they want to multitask, and they're missing the point of what consoles are for, but I'll get into that later. They're offering a 500 gigabyte hard drive, which should be good. I mean, it's pretty standard tech. It's going to... Speaking from, like, the processor and GPU might be the only parts of this thing that are going to last for any good amount of time. The amount of RAM and hard drive space are not going to be enough. They're very standard. They're already on par with a budget gaming computer. But the processor
Exactly.
and GPU have a
Especially
chance
with
of
the
being a
whole-
bit ahead of the curve.
Especially with the whole installing games thing, like that's going to take up a lot of space.
Right, exactly,
for-
yeah. Like I have I think altogether 2.5 terabytes of hard drive space, and I've used up over half of that because I have to install my games, obviously.
Exactly.
So if you have to install your games on that too, and you're only working with 500 gigabytes, I can see you running out of that very quickly.
Oh, well, you can always buy a new hard drive, right? A big one
Oh God,
for only $50.
fuck's sake. That's all I have on the Xbox. Do you have anything else?
Yes. I know you touched on this briefly, but like there's the Snap thing, which allows you to like use multiple things at the same time. So like you can watch TV and then say like Internet Explorer or something, and then research about the TV series you're watching, or I don't know, like play music while you're playing a game or watching TV. And I don't know if you caught this, but I think at one point they talked about the ability to record and edit footage and then upload it to the cloud.
Right, yeah.
So you wouldn't
The
need like a capture
PS4
card.
has that too. They have game DVR to record and edit and share gameplay. It's on
That
both.
sounds
I was gonna mention that
that's-
afterward,
good.
but you had to say
Yeah.
it too soon, you fucking prick.
Sorry about that. There's the whole thing about being able to control pretty much everything with your voice or motion control. There's Skype, which there's not really much to say on Skype.
Yeah.
And although they haven't talked too much about it yet, they like there was a particular statement they made that caught my attention. They said something along the lines of they plan to release 15 games in the first year, and 8 of them are going to be like new franchises. The others are going to be like FIFA, Madden, Call of Duty, just stuff like that.
One thing that I just thought of now, you mentioned Skype. I hadn't thought of this, but what's the practical application of Skype? Xbox Live already had a chat feature, so you're not chatting with other people on an Xbox. You're chatting with people on computers that have Skype, if anything. And
Yeah, you can
that
do
would
both.
imply that you would need your Xbox to chat with somebody on the computer. Like, would you just
Well, I
like
don't-
maybe for the purpose of like a Skype call, two people on Xbox, one guy on the computer, or something like that?
Well, I
Like,
don't think it needs to necessarily be on the computer. Like, they they showed that you can talk to people on Skype while you do something else. So you could be watching a movie or something, and one of your friends calls you, and you're watching the movie while you're talking to your friend. And because you have the connecting, it's like a face-to-face chat. It's not even like a phone call. I don't even know if they will have the party chat feature or just the chat feature. I mean,
but
it's
the party chat feature
like-
and chat feature were perfectly fine the way they were.
so are plenty of other things. That doesn't seem to have stopped them.
Right, I guess. Anyway, onto the PS4, with much fewer details passed around so far. They're being very secretive. Might come after E3, though. We might have to do an update on this. What do you
Yes,
think?
that
An
seems like a
update?
good idea.
God, again. But yeah, the PS4, the specs that I've got, 8 gigabytes of RAM, but the RAM is DDR5, not DDR3, which is worth noting. Which means it will perform a bit better. Should be able to multitask a bit better. But there's no word on the installs, there's no word on storage, on USB ports, on subscription fees, on used game fees. No word on any of that yet. However, there is no backwards compatibility, just like on the Xbox.
There is in a form though.
You can stream PS3 games, some of them.
I think you can also stream PS1 and PS2 games, which, like, I'm really glad that they're supporting that aspect, which is something that Microsoft doesn't seem to, give a lot of attention to.
So I wanted you to
Actually-
look into that because I have no idea exactly what the limit to the streaming would be.
Yeah, I don't know if they've given too many details, but something that really bothered me that one of the spokespeople for Xbox said, I think it was Don Matrick, he said something along the lines of backwards compatibility. People who want backwards compatibility are really backwards. Like, which
Right.
is ridiculous. Like,
Imagine any other industry in the world being like that. Imagine any song written before CDs were around. People wanted to listen to those songs. Imagine they were just said, "No, fuck you. You have to buy new songs on CDs only. You can't have those old songs anymore. We're not going to make them on
yeah,
CDs."
exactly.
You can't do that in any other industry. Only in gaming is that all right.
The thing that bothers me the most, a lot of people like sell their old consoles so they have money for the new consoles. There are still games going to be released on the current consoles. Like for example, GTA 5 comes out the end of this year. I think it comes out in the same month or the same time of year as the Xbox One, and it's not a next gen game. So people who buy it are going to pretty much have to decide whether they want GTA 5 or an Xbox One or PS4, when they could easily just make it backwards compatible. If like the hardware isn't if the hardware is not good for backwards compatibility, they could at least include like an emulator or something, so that way people can play GTA 5 on the new console instead of having to hold on to their old stuff for really long.
It's not even like they're losing money on it because they'd be gaining money because those games would be sold more often. Those older games would still be sold. Like, they might not be seeing direct money, but they was at least seeing movement on the products. They won't be just sitting around or being discontinued. You can still buy the old games. There are people out there, there are games out there that I would like to go back and pick up and play on the PS3 or the Xbox 360 if I could. Instead, I just went out and got them on the PC because you can play every PC game ever made on any PC. You don't have to, go back.
I was talking about Microsoft losing money, not the developer.
Yeah, I know, but Microsoft wouldn't be losing that much money either, especially if it's like a first-party thing that they developed, a first-party game. Anyway, enough about that though. The PS4 has an AMD processor. They didn't really give many details on that. So
I
I'm not
actually
really sure
have
about
some. It's apparently called a Jaguar. It's an AMD Jaguar 8-core processor. That's pretty much it. I think it runs on. I'm not great on tech, but it's the times 86.
Oh, the x86. Yeah, that's the same thing that
X86,
that the Xbox One's running on. They might have very similar processors. I don't imagine that they're going to be very different in terms of performance, honestly.
No, Xbox One's including a Blu-ray drive as well, which I think is kind of interesting because I think Sony owns the rights to that, don't they?
Yeah, which means that every sale of a Xbox, some of it goes to Sony now. Unless they
I guess
deliberately fully like purchase the rights to make it.
no, I doubt that. But still, that's kind of interesting.
I heard that every game on the PS4 has a demo using the streaming
That's good.
tech, which is I think
That's
a
good.
great idea.
Yeah, see, right now Sony seems to be really trying to just please gamers. Microsoft just seems to be going for a larger audience. Like,
Sony has to like make up for the PS3. What happened there? Like they just did not sell well at all, and they need to make up for it. We need to like Microsoft is going the same route that Nintendo did, and they're starting to alienate people.
yeah, exactly.
And
Like, think about how big Nintendo used to be, and now look at them because they started to focus on the casual crowd.
Nintendo's
Or
bigger
like
than ever. They're just not big in the gaming community anymore. They're big in the more outside. They don't have the same fan base that they used to have. A lot of people have kind of shifted a bit. I mean, they still like the old franchises, but they're appealing more toward a. Like when I hear people talk about Nintendo, I swear to God, I hear more older people talk about it than I hear young people now.
Yeah,
The only platform that I hear young people talk about, the only Nintendo platform I hear young people talk about are the handhelds. No young person talks about Wii's anymore. And I say young as in like, teenager. I think little kids still play the Wii. But it's a kiddie toy,
Right.
so of course they do. That's like saying, kids like playing with Legos.
goes without saying.
Yeah.
So
But
is
the
that what
PS
you have?
No, the
to say?
PS4 seems like it's lower budget than the Xbox One though. Which I
can
think it's
see
kind of
that,
funny.
Which is,
It's such a reversal from the last generation.
it's a good thing though. I think.
Yeah, I think so. The PS3 was very overcosted and it didn't really do anything special. Aside from having the
Mhm.
web browser built in from the very beginning, and it tried backwards compatibility, but it failed.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's all I have on the PS4. What about you?
pretty much. I mean, with the streaming,
Nothing.
I don't know too much about the streaming because, like I said, they have been very secretive with the PS4. All I know is that the tech they're using is called like Gaiku or something,
Yeah.
and that there seems to be quite a big focus on indie games and like arcade games and stuff, which isn't a bad thing. I think indie games can be a lot of fun and they're usually really unique. So
It's a very good thing, indie games.
I actually get the feeling that they're kind of inspired to focus more on indie games after Journey, because Journey was really successful.
I mean, I think they were learning from Microsoft, actually, because Microsoft was the one that started with the whole indie marketplace. They had a special marketplace specifically for indie games. And then they're just blending it in with all games, the all games category, which which Sony is now learning is a bad idea. They're doing their own. They have their own indie category now in the PlayStation Store. So it's kind of interesting that they're really swapping around a lot here. But I mean,
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
very
like
different focuses.
I feel like the differences between the two platforms are summed up perfectly by what that Sony spokesman said. Wasn't it? The PS4 is a gaming platform.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it looks like Microsoft is trying to make this all-around computer console. This little like computer box that you can play games on. It's like simplified for kids, but still high tech enough so that gamers can enjoy it. But they're gonna fail on both accounts. I mean, I don't think it's gonna work out too well. They're being a little overly ambitious in that regard.
I'm holding kind of more of a wait and see approach. Like I don't want to make any what's fuck any assumptions. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't think of assumptions. I don't want to make any assumptions too early. Like I'm gonna
Why
wait
not?
and see. Like, because I can't. Like, I don't have faith in myself either way right now.
Who
I can't
cares
decide
if
on
you're
how-
wrong? It's not like anyone's gonna watch this anyway.
No, it's not that I care about what people think. It's just that like I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't want to make any decisions until they talk about the game side more, at least.
Right. Well, the PS4 and the One, they both port achievements, but not games. You can't play the old games. And they both have game DVR to record and edit and share gameplay, which is a very nice feature.
Wait, what do you mean they port achievements from games? Is that
I
only,
assume that means you
like,
can carry your
PS3?
profile over. It's like your
That only counts
Xbox.
for the last generation, right? No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that only counts for the last generation. I don't think you can just because you couldn't bring over your original Xbox profile to your new Xbox, could you?
No.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
it
think
only
you even
counts for
had
this
like
console.
profiles on the older ones.
Yeah. Well, so my summary for this is: it seems like Sony and Microsoft want to make their consoles more like a gaming PC. The problem is they can't be like a gaming PC consoles can't do most things. They can't download programs, they can't mod games, they can't make text files or do much else other than play games. And gaming PCs don't force you to always be online. You can play old games on a new PC. Online play is free. Multitasking is as easy as alt-tabbing. The Xbox One and PS4 are a bit of budget gaming computers of today, but in 2 years, PC hardware is going to pull ahead again. The only advantage that consoles have over PC gaming, and this is a good advantage, is that they're easily accessible. They have party functions. You can invite friends over and just play some local multiplayer easily without getting a third or fourth computer set up. But it looks like this console generation is trying to eschew this convenience in favor of money-grabbing moves. And you can't reuse the controllers, you can't play the old games, you can't have a friend bring over a game unless you want to install a fee for it, and you can't play offline without an internet connection.
Right. I think the thing that bothers me is I think a lot of people are still going to buy into it simply because, like, when it comes to this kind of market, I think more people live now in areas with good internet, so they're going to be like, oh, I don't even care about the online internet connection thing. Like, it's not going to bother them. And like the whole, like, you know, since there are so many people who are like just fanboys for the Xbox, just because of the fact that it is a PS4, they're not going to give it a chance, and they're just going to jump straight to Xbox.
Both platforms are going to sell well, no matter what. Yeah, there are people that are just going to buy them because of what they are, no matter what. But I don't count that as success. I don't count sales as a success. I count the feedback that they get after the sales, whether or not they're successful. The Xbox can sell 250 million things, but if everyone's complaining about it, I'm not going to consider it successful. I mean, they made money, yeah, but I just consider the customer support successful because they're always going to make money on these things. There's no way they're not going to. Consoles are a closed market. No third-party developer comes in and makes a console these days. There's the Xbox, the PS3, and then there's the Nintendo shit. And no one's going to come in and make a new console. Sega's not going to come out and make another console. Valve's not going to go out and make. They might. They've been hinting at that kind of console, thing.
I think.
Yeah, they've been hinting at that kind of thing. That might be interesting, but I mean, it takes such a big company and such a to make a move like that no one's really going to do it, and they have a bit of a monopoly here, or an oligopoly, I think. So.
Big words.
Shut up. So, they really can't. They really don't have to work towards supporting customers or making them happy at this point. They can just do whatever they want and make money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the way to really mark success is whether or not people are happy after they sell it.
It's fair enough, I guess. I concur.
So that's what Sony and Microsoft are up to. What's Nintendo up to?
They are being not nice to people on YouTube.
Yep. I received an email from my network a couple weeks ago. I think it's about 3 weeks ago now. It said, "Hello, Arcade. I'd like to take a moment of your time to share some breaking news that could affect our partners. As of this morning, a story broke out that Nintendo has become a YouTube partner and has registered all their content as a copyright on YouTube. What does this mean? It means that YouTubers, you the partner, will no longer be able to monetize content on Nintendo games, i.e. walkthroughs, tutorials, reviews, etc. It's hard to imagine a company outdumbing Sony or outdicking Microsoft, to be blunt. But it seems like Nintendo managed to pull that off right there.
Well, they have that legal right, and I guess they decided to act on it. They don't want people to make money off of their properties.
They don't want to have to. Like, it's not like they're even paying for the advertisement. This is free advertisement for them, and they don't like. It's such a symbiotic experience. They make the game, put it out there, people play it for free, advertise it for free, and then they get paid from. Fuck's sake, they get paid from ad revenue, and now you don't want them to get paid from ad revenue anymore. It's like so messed up. Like, they weren't losing anything from that.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out like the logic, like why they would want to do that.
Because they want to make money off of the videos of their games.
But they can still make money off the videos of their games. Like, people aren't gonna not watch videos by Nintendo just because. Like, I'm gonna assume that Nintendo is gonna release videos of their games that are very different from, you know, people doing walkthroughs and gameplay and stuff. They're probably gonna release promotional material, trailers, stuff like that. So they're not even gonna watch the same kind of content. They still are gonna make money off of their videos.
Yeah, but they want to make more. They want to be able to monetize, you know, other people out there, other people that do Nintendo games, like Chugga Conroy, someone like that. They want to be able to monetize his videos and make money off of his content because he pulls in regular views of games that they do.
But then people are just gonna stop making Nintendo like video footage.
Yeah,
And
that's,
that way
that's the
they're just
thought.
going to lose money in the long run.
They have two options. People in those positions, the people that are getting their videos monetized, have two options: to either keep making videos because they like the games, they like the content, and they know their fans want to see it, or they can just stop doing it because they don't want to risk getting a copyright strike, and they don't want to have to just put up videos and not get paid for it, especially if it's their job. I mean, if it's your job,
Exactly.
you can't really afford to do shit like that. And
Exactly. That's why I don't understand
like
this logic.
most people who aren't partnered aren't aware of how easy it is to get strikes on your channel by monetizing the wrong video. Like a simple mistake you make while autopiloting and claiming your videos could get you a strike. And strikes take half a year to get rid of, and they disable features on your channel. Multiple strikes will shut your entire account down. I mean, like it fucks over big YouTubers because they can't that people that make money for it and actually live off of this because they can't monetize the games anymore. They won't have any money. They just have to rely on their network making a exclusive deal with them. And I think that Full Screen and I believe Machinima are, at least those two, are in discussion with Nintendo over copyright. No, what's it called? Over the right to monetize the videos. But I don't think that's really going to come to anything. I'm not really sure if it is. And even if it does, all that means is that people who aren't partnered with a network would get screwed over instead. So
Exactly.
people who are partnered through YouTube instead with AdSense will get screwed over, and the people who are within the network will be fine, which is still fucked up.
Yeah, it's still a very large audience.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much all there is to say on the Nintendo copyright stuff?
I mean, no, it just... I just want to add that I was actually looking forward to doing some Nintendo-type games in the future, like, planning on doing, like, a Pokemon run-through, because Pokemon's fucking amazing. And, but like, I don't want to get more claims on my videos. I already have a lot of fucking claims on the first half of my DMC playthrough. When I was uploading it, like half the videos got fucking claims. After I got partnered, they couldn't claim my videos anymore, but the original one still did get claims. And I just don't want to risk getting a strike from the claims. I'm not sure how Nintendo's going to do it. I'm not sure if they're going to be the kind of people that, you know, suddenly change their mind one day and decide to make it so that no, you can't. You not only can you not monetize it, but you can't even upload it, and then you suddenly get a strike when they take it down. Because that happened to me before. I put up a video of a montage of people getting hurt, and it had kung fu fighting in it, which was perfectly legal at the time. Perfectly legal. I could put up kung fu fighting. Then 2 years after the video was up, it got pulled down, and I got a fucking strike on my channel because in those 2 years they changed the rules. I wasn't even monetizing it; it was just up, and I got a strike on my channel because of it. And they could do that with Nintendo could do that with their content here. I don't know if I trust that. And I think there are a lot of people out there that are going to agree with me, or at least understand where I'm coming from on this.
I think it's a real shame that things like YouTube, where people can share funny things they've made or creative things they made, are getting kind of almost like censored because big companies don't want people to make money off of their IPs. So they're just stopping people from doing it without paying them. I think that's really fucked up. That seems like it would stifle a lot of really amazing content from people.
I mean, Microsoft already did that with was it like, I think it was their own games? What was it like? They wouldn't allow people to upload their games anymore, or was it that they wouldn't allow them to monetize it? Which one was it?
I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
It happened a little while back. Microsoft had a little hissy fit about people putting up videos of their own first party games like Halo and stuff like that.
Oh, well, that's not great.
Yeah, I mean, they don't understand what they're losing out on by doing stuff like that. I mean, Nintendo's always going to be a big company. I think their games are always going to get good coverage, at least Mario games. But when the more, you know, out there games, the more obscure games are put out by Nintendo, the occasional new IP, they're not going to get the kind of publicity. And then there are people that doubt the game that aren't going to be able to see somebody play it and know it's good.
They'll have plenty of trailers and promotional stuff to look at, though, that'll tell them about how good the game actually is and how they should totally buy it, give it a try.
Yeah. I mean, there's always, like, people are always going to say, though, that if you really do like making videos, you don't have to monetize the videos. And I'm currently in that position because I'm not making enough money to really bother monetizing in the first place. Like, I don't care if I can't monetize a video or not. But there are people that are, you know, they do require the monetization because this is their job. And those people are going to be the ones that are going to stop doing it. The big YouTubers can probably afford to not do it because they have other series that they're doing. The little guys don't have to do it because they're not really making much money to begin with. But the people in the middle are the ones that are going to have some problems with it.
Yeah.
And we might be seeing a bit of a loss in Nintendo content in the future. Unless, of course, Nintendo changes their mind on this, we've yet to see.
It doesn't seem likely, at least not to me.
I just hope that more companies don't follow suit. I heard that Mojang was approached by YouTube to do the same thing, but they turned it down.
So do you think YouTube's been going like out of its way to go to companies and ask if they want to do it, or have people just been doing it of their own accord?
I think YouTube's definitely the one that's going out there and asking people if they want to join up.
Why? Why do that?
I don't know. Maybe it makes more money for them. I don't really know how it works.
That seems to be the general like motivation for everyone here. Makes more money for me.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Well, I guess that's about it. I think we've covered everything, huh?
Yeah, it seems like it. We've been talking for a good 47 minutes, so...
Nah, it wasn't quite 47 minutes. We started about 10 minutes after we started talking. So I think this was shorter than usual. The last two were like over an hour.
Well, it's still early, so there's not too much information to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out more as the weeks go on.
Yeah, so then maybe we'll do an update on it, and then we'll have something else to talk about so we don't have to do any new research. on any new games. Fuck researching new games, it's too hard. Right. So I hope all you viewers out there enjoyed. I hope you want to post comments in the discussion. Leave your fanboy rage, or your non-fanboy agreement, or your non-fanboy rage, or your not fanboy agreement, or any combination of those words in the comment section below.
Or any of the above.
Or any of
Or all of the above, I should say.
Yes, or none of the above. Maybe just like post a comment talking about how awesome tits are when they're covered in warm cheese.
Or some of the above.
Some of the above, yeah. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, leave a comment, or a like, or share it. And we'll see you guys 2 weeks from now, hopefully, when we do our next topic, which will be maybe a update on this. An update on this.
You will find out.
Yeah. Alright, so, see you guys.
Bye.
That was a lame-ass bye. Say it more amazing.
Bye!
Okay.